This is Trade Alive with IUX, where markets come alive and trading gets real. Let's go live.
This podcast is brought to you by IUX Trading Platform, elevating your trading experience.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the IUX podcast, a part of Trade Alive, brought to you by IUX Education and IUX Trading Platform. We help you explore the lives, lessons, and legacies of the world's greatest traders. Now, let's talk about you. If you're sitting there looking to start trading in 2026 with a small account, maybe dreaming of a meme stock miracle that turns your lunch money into a Lamborghini overnight, stop right there. I hate to be the one to burst your bubble, but I have a serious reality check for you. That world? It's gone. It's history. Today's market is radically different. It's a digital battlefield dominated by high-frequency AI and lightning-fast algorithms that eat amateur traders for breakfast. It sounds scary, right? But here's the twist. Starting with little money in this brutal environment isn't a limitation anymore. It is actually your greatest strategic advantage for risk control. In this session, I'm unveiling the roadmap to consistency, a framework designed to turn those small accounts into institutional-grade precision tools. We'll talk about the 1% rule, the hidden power of microlots, and why survival is the new success. So, if you want to outlast the machines and build real wealth, don't move a muscle. Your journey to becoming a consistent trader starts right now. Now that we understand the reality of the 2026 battlefield, let's dive deep into your roadmap to consistency. This roadmap is built on 4 unbreakable pillars that you must establish before you even think about profits. Grab a pen, because we're going to break down the exact mechanics of survival. Number 1, the power of focus, mastering the microenvironment. In an era where AI can process millions of data points in a millisecond, you cannot beat the machines by trying to trade everything. If you're watching crypto, tech stocks, gold, and Forex all at once, you're spreading yourself dangerously thin. You're trying to be a general in 5 different wars at the same time. The visual example. Imagine being a martial artist. If you try to learn boxing, judo, taekwondo, and jiu-jitsu all at the same time over 3 months, you will easily be defeated by someone who spent those 3 months focusing solely on boxing. They know exactly the distance of their kick. They know their balance instinctively. The action plan and the screen time secret. In trading, this translates to choosing one market, whether it's gold, XAUUSD, or the euro, EURUSD. Study its unique rhythm. Every asset has a personality. For example, if you choose the euro, you need to know that it wakes up during the London session. You need to know how it behaves when the New York session overlaps. Does it fake out before a major trend? Does it consolidate on Mondays? When you stare at only one chart every single day, you build what professionals call a subconscious database. Your brain begins to recognize patterns before the indicators even trigger. And speaking of indicators, please strip away the indicator soup from your charts. A chart cluttered with 10 different indicators, RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, moving averages, only creates paralysis by analysis. The RSI tells you to buy, the MACD tells you to sell, and you end up frozen like a deer in headlights. Stick to minimalist tools, key support and resistance levels, and a simple trend filter. Let price action tell you the story. That is all you need. Now, let me ask you something a bit more personal. Do you believe that because your account is small, say $500, you have to take massive risks just to make it worth your time? Do you think, if I don't double this account in a month, what's the point? Well, if you thought that, you're walking into a trap. That mindset is why 90% of traders fail. But here's the twist. What if I told you that your small account is actually your secret weapon? Number 2, the small account's secret weapon, micro lots and position sizing. The most destructive myth for beginners is the belief that because I have little money, I must risk big to grow fast. You see this everywhere on social media. Traders flipping $100 into $1,000 in a week. What they don't show you is that the same strategy will blow that account to zero the very next week. This is a guaranteed path to ruin. In 2026, modern brokers offer fractional sizing and micro lots, which are 0.01 units. This is your greatest weapon. The reality of sizing. Let's look at two traders, both starting with $500. Trader A wants to get rich quickly. He uses standard lots. Every time the market ticks against him, he loses $10. He sits there sweating, his heart pounding, staring at the red numbers flashing on his screen. He panic closes the trade prematurely, just before it goes in his favor. Trader B uses micro lots. She scales down her trade size so drastically that every tick against her costs only 10 cents. A full normal loss on her trade costs her $5, the equivalent of a cup of coffee. Why is this crucial? It neutralizes your emotions. When you know that hitting your stop loss will only cost you $5, you won't sit there sweating, staring at the screen. You'll have the mental clarity to walk away, make a coffee, and let your strategy play out exactly as intended. You're no longer trading your emotions, you're executing a business plan. You buy yourself the luxury of being wrong. And in trading, you will be wrong. Microlots ensure that being wrong doesn't mean being bankrupt. 3. The mathematics of recovery and the law of large numbers. This is the core mechanic that separates professional risk managers from gamblers. Trading is not about predicting the future. It is about managing the mathematical probability of outcomes. The brutal math. Listen to these numbers carefully. If you start with $1,000 and lose 10% of it, you have $900. You only need to make 11% to get back to break even. That's manageable. But if you risk too much and lose 50% of your account, you now have $500. How much do you need to make to get back to $1,000? It's not 50%. You need to make a 100% return on that remaining $500 just to get to break even. You have to double your money just to get back to the starting line. The deeper the hole you dig, the exponentially harder it becomes to climb out. The 1% rule as your shield. This rule is your absolute shield against the brutal math of the market. You must never risk more than 1% of your total account balance on a single trade using a hard stop loss. If you have a $500 account, your absolute maximum risk per trade is $5. This reduces your risk of ruin to near zero. Why is this powerful? Because trading relies on the law of large numbers. Even with a good strategy, you might face a terrible losing streak of 5, 10, or even 15 trades. If you risk 10% per trade, a 10-trade losing streak wipes you out completely. Game over. But if you risk 1%, a 10-trade losing streak only draws down your account by about 10%. You are bruised, but you are still in the game. Capital preservation is your ultimate edge. You cannot win if you do not have chips left to play. 4. Analysis versus execution, bridging the psychological gap. In 2026, we have incredible AI tools that can backtest hundreds of trades in seconds. You can feed an algorithm a set of rules, and it will tell you exactly how it would have performed over the last 10 years. But remember this fundamental truth. Backtesting is just analysis. Trading is about execution. The demo trap. A simulation or demo account is great for learning which buttons to click. It teaches you how the software works, but it lacks the most critical, chaotic component of trading, emotional friction. When you trade fake money, your brain knows it's a game. You don't feel the sudden adrenaline spike when the market crashes through your support level. You don't feel the heavy, sickening psychological pain of taking a loss, nor do you feel the intoxicating, dangerous euphoria of a massive win. You are immune to the biological chemicals, cortisol and dopamine, that completely derail real-world decision-making. The real-world forward test. Once your strategy is verified in a simulation, you must bridge the gap immediately. Do not stay in demo forever. Fund a live account with minimal capital, say $100, and trade using the smallest possible size, those micro lots we talked about. Having skin in the game, no matter how small, changes everything. It forces you to confront your own psychological biases in real time. You will discover your urge to move your stop-loss further away because you hope the market will turn. You will discover your urge to take a $2 profit immediately because you fear losing it, even though your target is $10. You will quickly learn the ultimate lesson of 2026. The hardest thing to conquer in trading isn't the high-frequency algorithms, and it isn't the market itself. The hardest thing to conquer is yourself. To wrap things up, starting with little money in 2026 isn't a curse. It's the best school you could ever attend. Remember the pillars. Focus on one market, use minimalist tools, strictly adhere to the 1% rule, and bridge the gap between AI backtesting and real-world execution. If you want a concrete example of how powerful minimalist tools can be, I highly recommend you listen to Trader's Journey, Episode 22, The Box Theory, how Nicholas Darvis made $2 million in 18 months. It perfectly demonstrates that you don't need a screen full of indicators to build substantial wealth. Furthermore, if you're still struggling with the urge to trade every single chart you see, you need to check out Trader's Lab, Episode 17, Too Many Assets, Too Little Clarity. It will completely change how you view market focus. Before we go, I have a question for you. Out of everything we discussed today, which rule do you find the most challenging to follow? Drop one comment below. I'll be reading through them and sharing my thoughts with you all. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.
You've been listening to Trade Alive with IUX. Ready to put these insights into action? IUX is here to power your next winning trade.